Welcome to Set the Record. I'm Malcolm Anthony, all the way from Houston, Texas. We got Cody.
Sir, what it do from the 713?
Yo, subscribe to the show wherever you're watching, YouTube, listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, of course. Give us 5 stars. We out here working. I mean, this is directly after games, y'all. You don't understand. Cody out here coaching. We out here watching. Like, this is crazy. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Set the Record Pod. Like the Facebook page, Set the Record Podcast. Great show planned. NBA playoffs. We're going to talk about those first. And we might sprinkle in a little NFL news at the end. So, Cody, man, we obviously saw the Warriors close out the Sacramento Kings, and Steph Curry actually requested that the beam get lit one more time. Were you into that?
No, not at all. Y'all know me. Houston guy. I can't get behind the Warriors, but hey, I can't lie when I said I didn't see it coming.
50.
Wait, I saw it coming, basically, is what I said. My original prediction was to have the Kings win, but I also mentioned that if the Warriors ended up winning the series, it would be in 7 games. Because I don't ever want to see Steph Curry in a game 7 personally.
In a game. Yeah, you're right. And he proved out that greatness shows out when it needs to. Steph had a talk with the young dudes, after that loss in game 6. And it looked like only Steph showed back up for game 7. But even if he showed out, and it was really special to see, he had a special game. So Steph Curry ends up pulling out the dub. Warriors in 7. Lakers dispelling of the Memphis talk too much Grizzlies. And they did that in 6, right?
Yep.
So,
also, kind of saw that coming, especially after John Morant's hand, But yeah, man, the Grizzlies talk too much. I honestly, okay, the guy I have respect for in that series for that was John Morant, because he, in his post-game interview, said, if I dish it out, I can take it. Like, I said it, I can live with it. The guy I don't respect, however, Dylan Brooks. No media availability.
Yeah, he $25,000 fine. Should be more. Should go up to $100,000. He missed out on, I think, 3 different days of availability, and he showed up for their end press conference, but still not enough. Look, here's a few numbers on Dylan Brooks throughout the series. Game 1, 38% field goal percentage, 22 from 3. Not any good. Game 2, 35%, 33 from 3. How about game 3, 23%, 20% from 3. Like, this dude, not any good. And really, it doesn't get any better. Game 5 was his most terrible game. 20% all around from the floor, from 3, from anywhere. And game 6 was his best game, oddly. In the terrible loss, he shot 40% from 3, and they lost by 40 points.
Here's the thing about Dylan Brooks, right? And the Grizzlies have come to realize this as the series ends and all that. He provides nothing of positive value that can't be replaced.
Well, last season he averaged 23 points in the playoffs, I think. In the season before it was 17. Just this year, and
he played great defense with that, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But this season it's been completely different. His defense hasn't been the same. It's replaceable. It's not super impactful. His shots on the season, by the way, he shot 13 shots a game, and he made 39% of them. It's not good. Keep in mind, also, this is really weird. He said that he asked, he wanted to have a bigger role with Memphis. And he felt like he could be that guy, and he makes 39% of his shots, So it's not gonna work. But yeah, man, the Grizzlies actually said under no circumstances will they re-sign him. That's crazy. Under no circumstances is crazy. That means they do not.
The upper management didn't like that talk at all, and I heard that probably after game 2.
Well, I wouldn't like it if they poking a bear either.
The wrong bear, man. Dude,
right.
Literally
that's a grizzly bear. The Grizzlies poking the grizzly bear. You know what I'm saying?
For real. No, and yeah, save that bear. Look, so LeBron, Steph, that's the series we got. Greatness versus greatness, essentially. That's going to be pretty spectacular. 7 seed going against the Warriors. Which one were they?
Hey, and here's the question I'm gonna ask you.
Mm.
You said it's greatness versus greatness, right?
Yep.
If Steph Curry beats LeBron this series, do you think he passes him in all-time greatness?
You gonna put
because
me on that?
I'm thinking. Look, I mean, think about it, right?
Uh-huh.
Who's this whole era? This is meant to be LeBron's era. LeBron's meant to be the GOAT of this generation. He's that guy.
Stats, the numbers,
right? But who's beaten him when it mattered the most more times? I think they both got 4 rings, right?
Steph's got 3-1 on Bron in
3-1 on
playoffs.
Same amount of rings. Now imagine the Warriors go ahead and win a ring this season. Steph Curry gets more rings than LeBron James in LeBron's own era. That, you know?
Oh, dude,
who outringed Jordan in the Jordan era? Who outringed Kobe in his era?
You got a couple ties, but that's it.
Right, yeah. LeBron. Okay, I'm not saying right.
No, I hear you.
I'm not saying before the Lakers fans get on my ass about it. Right, I'm not saying that this is like
but it's
a consensus thing. But you have to think about it.
You'd have to think about it. But we're all, the tough debate is on
LeBron owns the stats. Yes,
LeBron's gonna have the stats. But so if Steph wins another ring, does he eclipse Magic? Like, you see what I mean? You think he would?
I think he would, yeah, because, right now the debate is Magic, Steph, who's the best point guard of all time, right?
Right.
And another ring here would put him over Magic, undoubtedly, I think. You can't deny that.
It would tie him in rings, and obviously he's the greatest three-point shooter of all time, but we all agree, most people can agree that LeBron is better than Magic. So if Steph eclipses Magic, does he also eclipse LeBron?
I just think it becomes a tighter conversation.
I agree, but I think it's a tough debate.
It is a tough debate. I'm not going to give an answer. I don't have an opinion on it.
Yeah,
I'm just pointing out the. I
mean, we don't talk about Steph as a GOAT, but this.
I don't think he's the GOAT. I don't think it makes him the GOAT, but
LeBron is one of he's talked about as the GOAT.
Right, dutifully so. Like he has the stats, he has the accolades. He is the number 1 scoring leader, right? Steph doesn't have that. Steph's the all-time 3-point leader, though. So you kind of trade blows there.
Blow for blow, yeah. But Steph's he's got free throws.
Yeah, man. But
yeah, look, we're splitting hairs, greatness versus greatness, right?
Yep, on the series, what do you think?
Before the series even happened, before the playoffs happened, I said Warriors will beat the Lakers in 6 games. So I had both teams pulling the upset against against the 3 and against the 2. Yeah. But I think the Warriors, I thought the shooting would be too much for LeBron and company. AD, truthfully, LeBron looked not LeBron quite in the Grizzlies series, but they're young, so I think against the Warriors he'll look more like himself. But the Warriors in 6. That's where
I think the Warriors have the better tools, though.
What's that?
I think the Warriors have the better tools to stop LeBron. Even though the Grizzlies had the Defensive Player of the Year, they didn't have a guy who could really match up with him on the perimeter. I think Wiggins will do a decent job.
Looney's annoying as an offensive rebounder.
Trust me, I know.
He's going to get under people's skin because he's just kind of always in your damn way, and in a good way if you're a Warriors fan. So I think that's the way the series is going to play out. We'll see. Game 1 is really tight right now. Warriors up by 1, and it's looking really fun. This is a great game so far. But yeah, how do you think it plays out? I mean, you think?
Usually on these type of picks where it could go either way, neck and neck, these are 2 really matched up teams. I tend to usually counter pick you just to have that you went them, all right, I'll go them because they could win too. I have to agree with you this time. I do think it would be Warriors in 6, and I think that I mean, just playing the Grizzlies in itself, playing a young team like that does take a toll on LeBron, right? You saw, I think the game before, game five, right? I think LeBron was
Oh,
like he was cruising a little bit, he was like, hold on, I can't go all that hard right now because he's old, it's gonna take it out of him. So, the Grizzlies definitely took a lot out of him.
I agree.
And overall, I think the
I think
Lakers,
Steph's a runner anyway, so like he's
yeah,
not losing energy running. That's what he does to other players.
right.
Like
He does cardio all game. Like he's used to this. It's nothing else.
yeah.
So I mean, and the shooting, you can't you shooting always wins, right? It's a 3-point league. So yeah, I got Warriors in 6.
Okay. No, good call. No, I'm right there with it. We'll see how it plays out. Game one, obviously tonight, and Warriors dropping threes. I'm telling you, watching it live on spot is it's incredible. But we had another Western Conference matchup, and it's not looking good for one of these two teams. The 1 seed going against the Suns, right? Nuggets, Suns, Nikola Jokic, right?
I will say this,
Uh-huh.
for Suns fans out there, right? The Nuggets just did what they were supposed to do.
That's the first thing you say, right? They say a series doesn't start until the road team wins the game.
Yep, that's exactly what it's
What if
like,
the
right?
home team wins every game, though? The series never starts.
Right. It's just, well, I mean, at that point, it just goes by seeding. Then at that point,
It just ended in. Yeah. So no. But 2 games, Nuggets. The first game was a blowout, and it didn't look good at all for the Suns. There was really not a lot to hang your head on. Game 2, Suns looked like they really, defensively ratcheted up. They played extremely well. Kevin Durant didn't shoot well again. I felt like he didn't shoot very well, and that probably was the reason they lost.
right. And
Chris Paul's hamstring or groin, and they had no facilitator at the end of the game.
and when you're a tough shot maker like Kevin Durant, those are the type of things that happen, right? It's like sometimes the tough shots don't fall. No matter how good you are, you're not gonna make every shot. Like even Steph Curry, he misses more than 50% of his shots.
No,
That's just how that's just how it rolls, right?
As a Kobe stan, I know you take the tough shots, you're not gonna make them all.
Right, you live with the results.
100%.
But what I'm gonna say is I really feel bad for Chris Paul. He's the guy, because I mean every year something happens, he gets injured, he misses time, and this one's gonna keep him out through game 5.
Breaking news: Cody says he's gonna be out. I hope he comes back in game 3.
Well, here's the thing. Well, okay, the Suns, they said they're preparing to go up until game 5 without Chris Paul. No. He gets reevaluated in 1 week. I know with that type of injury and his age, I feel like it'll be another week. Not an official prediction. I'm not a doctor or nothing. I'm just speaking out of what I've seen.
Campaign can't be your starting point guard.
Yeah, right. And that's a really big advantage for the Nuggets because again, the Suns don't got any depth and the Nuggets do, and that's, again, we said that's going to be the kryptonite to the Suns is they don't have the depth that they have.
No depth. It's all on Book and KD.
The last thing they want right now is for the Nuggets to go up and take home court from the Suns then, because then you're down 3-0 and that you don't win. You don't come back from that. It just doesn't happen.
That will not happen. Now, 3-0 is something they can't overcome. But right now, they have the opportunity to hold home. They can serve the couple wins there at home. So right. I do. That is something they're capable of. But game 2 showed me that they just don't have the depth. I mean, it's really impressive that the Nuggets, it seemed like everybody gets involved. KCP, when you needed him the most, you got just
playoff Jamal.
Murray shows up fourth quarter after literally almost a no-show the first 3. It was really just not enough for the poor Suns. And I'm glad the sun might be setting a little early. Truthfully, I hate it. I don't like an unfair advantage, and they're as LeBron would say, top heavy as fuck. and they just are. And that it just tips the scale a little bit until you run into a deep team like the Nuggets, apparently.
And that's what I think is going to give the Nuggets the edge in the series.
Yeah, no, as of right now, no, that's good and good for them. They need it.
Nikola Jokic. Jokic is he's playing more motivated than ever because he hears what they're saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
He acknowledges it. He said he doesn't listen to it, but he acknowledged it. He knows what they're saying. He knows the pressure is on him right now.
Yeah, and he should. And he's playing great. No, and I love seeing this out of him because I'm a doubter and a skeptic until I see someone prove otherwise. And right now he's in a position to do that. They beat the Clippers after being down 3-1 in the bubble. This is something that they can pull off right now, especially if they beat the Suns now. I think I already mentioned, if they can do this, they should have a good path to the NBA Finals, even if they have to play the Warriors or the Lakers.
It's tough, but yeah.
Yeah, but still, it's still tough, but it's still doable.
I mean, the Suns is the toughest competition, regardless, right? But matchup wise, I don't think you want to see the Warriors. I don't think anybody does in the playoffs.
You don't want to play shooters. Yeah, you want the Lakers to take care of business right now. Absolutely. You'd rather play older LeBron and hope AD pulls something. You know what I mean? But East Side, man, we've got a pretty good series going on with the Heat and the Knicks. Someone pulled off game 1 and then sat out in game 2.
I mean, yeah, Jimmy. I mean, he did get hurt though. It's not.
I know, but that's what they could do that sucks. Because they.
Yeah. It's like now that they stole game 1, you can afford to. You took home court already, and that can't be reversed. So you can afford to give them back the game that they're supposed to win, anyways.
They barely pulled it off tonight.
They almost fell for the trap game,
dude. And they almost went down 0-2, and I was pretty shocked. I'm like down 6 in the final few minutes of the game, and then Knicks kind of crawl back, take a 3-point lead, and then carry that 99-96 point lead into the game, and close out. Jalen Brunson made big moves, passing to Josh Hart. I think Josh Hart was huge in this game. Big rebounds, big threes, couple free throws. I like Josh Hart. He's a Laker draft pick. I like him.
I can respect it. Yeah, unfortunately,
he's a dog everywhere he goes. He was with New Orleans as well. So, but do you think the Knicks can take one in Miami if Jimmy comes back?
I think there's a chance, definitely, that they can take one in Miami.
They just didn't play well with him out. Even, I mean, they let other guys get really involved, and I think that was kind of a huge mistake. I mean, Strus got off. Vincent got off, Martin got off. I mean, all of these guys were able to shoot. Kevin Love, didn't do great, but he was able to be out there and make a few shots. So,
yeah, and I say this as respectfully as possible because they are still a playoff team, right? But I feel like the Knicks, I think, are currently the weakest playoff team out there, all right?
I had a feeling you was going to say something like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's no disrespect.
It's on the scale of fraudulent. They're right there on the
No, they're not frauds, but because they still are a good team and they're a playoff team. But I think the Heat are a better team. Again, now if someone's a fraud, it's the Heat because they're not an 8 seed.
Okay. Yeah. I buy it.
But yeah, man. I mean, when we made our original predictions, right? I did the thing where I just counter pick you, but like deep down in my heart, it's Miami. But it's 7. I'll go with 7 though.
7. Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. As of right now, yeah, it's a tough one. But yeah, Miami should pull this one off. Should pull the series. Jimmy Butler, barring health, of course. I think that's super important to mention. The Heat really should have pulled this win off tonight, but they didn't.
They could afford it for once.
They could afford it. But I tell you, who has impressed us all year, who finally broke over the MVP hill. You got Joel Embiid finally deserving really maybe of the last 3 seasons, he might have been a guy, deserving of this award.
And it's like I'm happy for Joel, right? It sucks that he can't be playing right now because of unfortunate injuries. But yeah, man, he's deserved this award, right? And again, you could make the argument for the past 2 seasons, similar to his teammate, right? James Harden had a similar thing where it's like he was in conversations. He could have won it, a few years prior, and they gave it to him. But he's like they're deserving of the award, right? Absolutely. Points leader, average double-double, was the foundation for the 76ers. He was that guy defensively, right? He had the moments. He had everything for it. So, man, I am happy that he was able to get it. Happy that he was able to turn up and, show everybody why he deserves it. But, man, his team, bro, Sixers steal game one. Another team that steals home court, man. And that's, all I'm going to say is James Harden, right?
That's all you need to say, seriously. And as an impressive of a victory as it was, he ties his career high in points in the playoffs, 45. He does it in serious, spectacular fashion. 2 huge threes in the final few moments of the game just to clinch the victory. And did it in James Harden fashion, like step back, gotcha. You don't want none of this.
He did it in Houston Harden style. Houston Harden, he made his return, man. He's showing everybody that he's still elite.
Yeah, he showed he's capable of being elite, and I like that because I think if Joel is back in the lineup, you've got James capable of doing it when he doesn't actually have to do it, because he was the assist leader this season.
And that's what he said. He's changing that mode where, and there's actually a statistic for this. I think it's like per 70 something minutes, right? Where when Embiid's off the court, offensively, when it comes to scoring, he's elite. When Embiid's off the court, he's an elite playmaker. And I think James Harden's finally found that balance.
Yeah.
Because we saw him be able to do it in Brooklyn a little bit, right? Where he was he was still a good playmaker.
Yeah, he was just
he struggled to find when to score and when to look for the pass, and now I think in Philly he's found the perfect balance.
Well, yeah, I think it's harder to do that with a KD and a Kyrie who are super ISO. So
it's another thing, yeah.
But yeah, that was another wrinkle into it. I think another dog you got to give a lot of credit to in the Philly upset over Boston, 119-115, and that's PJ Tucker. No shots.
Okay.
No shots.
I thought you were gonna go somewhere else with it.
No, man, PJ.
Keep going. I love PJ Tucker. Another one of my Rockets.
I so much fucking credit. I love PJ Tucker. I loved him with the Bucks. I don't know why they let him go. That was kind of insane. Anyways, he ends up with Philly. Good for Philly. No shots. It's the most. I think let me hold on. I have a little stat on that. He played the most minutes in NBA history with no shots. 37 minutes. It's the most in a playoff game in the shot clock era.
And I actually vividly remember him having a chance to shoot the ball, but he didn't because Tatum was going to close out.
Yeah, no, I mean seriously,
yeah.
First time that's ever happened since 1954, 1955.
Damn.
Dude, I mean that's seriously forever.
Yeah.
So, and he played amazing. And that's what you want out of a guy like that, because Jason Tatum made his last basket in the game, I think in the final 11 minutes of the fourth quarter, and
can't have that if you're Boston.
Jaylen Brown made his final basket with 6 minutes left. So you
can't have that if you're Boston.
Those two guys have got to be present, in the final stretches of the game, and they're getting 0 in the final 6 minutes of the game. That tells you a lot about what Philly was capable of pulling off in this game.
And the two guys I want to shout out, right? The guy I thought you were going to say, the dog, was DeAnthony Melton.
Okay. No.
Great game, especially in the first half. He wasn't missing. He was lights out. And he's that type of hustle player. He makes, those impact defensive plays, right? And the other guy is going to go low-key under the radar, but Tobias Harris.
Oh,
I feel he played very solid defense on Jason Tatum.
His defense was awesome, actually.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I
was watching it live with one of my boys, and every time Tobias was guarding Tatum, I'm like, man, he's holding his own. He's doing his thing.
He made him work for a lot of shots.
Yeah.
And that was really sound for the game, really big for the upset, and congrats and everything to James Harden. He gets all the credit in the world for the game one victory. Hopefully he can continue this. I think as a skeptic of a guy like James, for myself, is I've always just wanted to see him do it in moments like this and continue to do it. So he can have a bad game. Bad games are normal. I just want to see this level of intensity that you could see it in his eyes. It was different. Like Stephen, when you see the type of intensity these guys can have and then hold their talent at such a high level and follow through with it, it's really special. So he's talented enough. I don't like to be a dick to James all the time, but it's truthfully, I just want to see him follow through.
And here's what I'll say about James Harden. I don't know, we talked about this over text. You might not agree with me, but when I say, and I'll explain why I think this, but truly this is a legacy games for James Harden. And the reason why is because if this series goes to, unless the series goes to 7, this game one will be the most important game of the series. In a game where the best player wasn't hurt, like you said over text, it's just game one, but this is an important game one, right? In a game where the MVP, the league MVP, is out for the game, going against one of the best defenses in the NBA. I think top 3, top 4, top 5, something like that, right? Against one of the best defenses in the NBA. Underdogs on the road to be able to drop 45 when your team really needed it. The last time he dropped 45 was in 2020. Believe it or not. It's crazy, the fact that he's able to just step it up and turn on that switch, remind everybody that he is still that guy. He's just choosing to pass the ball. He said it himself. He's sacrificing his points, his shots, because he really wants to win a championship. And that's why I feel like this James Harden is a different one that we're seeing. But yeah, man, Boston also has their own issues. Boston in the clutch are horrible.
This season
especially, they aren't able to.
Is that a coaching thing? Is that did they lose Ime and Coach Joe can't do it?
Maybe, I don't know. But hold on, I have a stat here. It was sent to me. I think it was put on television. So I mean, everybody might have read it, but I'll read it out loud for everybody just in case. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find it. Man, their clutch numbers is not the same. They deteriorate. They can't hold on to leads, right?
Well, no, we've seen that follow. Houston took them down. We've seen them lose leads to a lot of teams this year.
Oh, okay. I found it.
Largely. No, I'm just saying we've seen Boston lose large leads on multiple occasions. 17 points, 19 points, 15 points, end up losing games.
Yep. And okay, so what I was gonna say is actually more of a stat for Philly, but it can apply to Boston as well, right? Best records since December 9th, right? Including the playoffs and play-in, right? The teams with the best record, the team with the best record since December basically is Sixers. 47-16. In fourth, Celtics, 40-23.
Yeah.
In the clutch, all right? In the clutch, meaning the last 5 minutes of the game, the Sixers are number 1 net rating, number 1 offensive rating, number 2 defensive rating in the last 5 minutes of a game in the playoffs and in the regular season too. So Philly has been an elite clutch team all season and in the playoffs. Boston has not. They've deteriorated so many times, and I think that's going to be a huge factor, right? I know I picked the Celtics to win the series, right? But I mean, deep down in my heart, I'm really pulling for Philly.
No, I'm 100% on board with that. What you just said, the last part, I picked Celtics just because I think they're a better team. I think Philly has every chance to take their soul, and I think part of that is left over from last season. They're
so hungry. They have that taste in their mouths from Boston beating their ass every past season.
I think that helped. I think Philly hungry for it, and I think Boston losing in the finals, man. I think that really has affected them throughout.
It sucked it out of them.
I feel like that's just taken a lot out of their just mental. None of their players down the stretch, it seems like, can follow through. Clutch moments are very tough for the Celtics. I love to see it personally. I don't want to see them succeed, so I'm fine with that. But on to the next thing. if we sprinkle this in right here, we've got Lamar Jackson getting signed, right? Little NFL
Right.
news.
Happened happened a while ago. We just now getting a chance to talk about it. It's been a
But
hectic week.
it has been a hectic week. But no, it's important that we mention it because
Yes,
I think the Ravens made the right decision.
I agree. Yep. We've been saying the whole time they need to pay him. They need to show him that they value him. And they did just that, giving him the highest deal for a quarterback. He topped out Jalen Hurts. He gave Jalen Hurts his moment. He's like, yeah, that's cute. Have this.
Hold my drink. Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
5 year, $260 million, 185 million guaranteed annual
Crazy.
salary of $52 million a year. Man, that is lovely. That is special, and I think it's great that he pulled this off with no agents. I think I said I was one of the skeptics that may be the thing holding him up, and I wasn't sure why the deal wasn't getting done. So
Yeah.
as a skeptic, that's one of the things I can pull to, but I was wrong, and I'm glad he got the money. I'm glad they didn't have to give up to 10% to some agent or
Yeah.
20% to some agent, which would be a fair share of money,
That's the thing. He's a smart guy. He knew what he wanted. He knew what comes with having an agent, right? And I feel like that's something we're gonna see more in sports going
I know,
forward.
but that's the one thing I was shocked by, that
Yeah.
the NFL paid him, or the Ravens, because this will set
It's a trend.
very
It's a trend.
this is
You
going to
know,
be a thing.
big respect to Lamar Jackson. And I think from Lamar's viewpoint, right, this is huge for him, right? I think this rejuvenates him
Big
to
time.
play for this team. He this is confirmation from the Ravens. Hey, all right, like I know we've had our like back and forths with this type of stuff, but ultimately we believe in you.
We
And
need
that
to
exactly, we're gonna need you, and this is gonna
yeah.
it's such a motivator, right? Whenever a team gives you that extension, they give you the contract you want. So yeah, man, look out for the Ravens next season. They could be dangerous.
Oh, yeah, no, I think they will be dangerous, because I honestly think they could have won the division last year. They were 10-7 last year, just 3 games behind Cincinnati, and Lamar sat intentionally because he wasn't going to play with the possibility of not having a money, in the bank. You know what I mean? Like, I thought Lamar could have played most of last season, but I wouldn't have played with no security blanket. So I think
last thing he needs to do is just prove they can be healthy.
Yeah, man, go get another MVP. Go get another division title, and make the Ravens Super Bowl champs again. Now, that'd be really special. Do you have an opinion on who won the draft? Final few thoughts of the draft.
I'm gonna go biased here.
Okay,
I think you know what I'm gonna say.
I do think I know what you're gonna say. I think they were the second or third best team to me in this draft, but I don't think top 5 for sure.
I'd say, yeah. I mean, if it was outlandish, I wouldn't say it, right? But I feel like they have a case to be. Oh, but the Eagles are another team. If it's not them, it's the Eagles.
Yeah. Houston, absolutely. Texans, no doubt, had a fantastic draft. I think they themselves, with CJ Stroud, with what's the other kid they got? Will Anderson. I think that is going to be freaking awesome for them, and they obviously need to go a couple, extra pieces around those guys, but they're going to be really good. The Eagles, they're picking up all the Georgia Bulldogs, and they're making sure they're making Philadelphia Georgia North, I guess. And the whole defense is going to be out there. And then they've got Jalen Hurts, who's got, new money. And I don't know how they pulled off getting DeAndre Swift. What bullshit is that? Not cool.
Interesting draft from the Lions while we're on that note.
That's what I mean. If there were losers in the draft, it was the Lions. The Lions lost the draft, along with the Cowboys, the Washington Commandos. Those were the losers of the draft.
Yep.
Just my 2 cents. But man, great show.
Yes, sir.
I'm Anthony, and that's Cody, editor-in-chief. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Subscribe to the show. Meditate. Make it go away.
Yer.
That's dope.